hey, everybody, Mntdewmania here, and welcome to Vox Gold. This is a new server over at Vox Populi. It just recently opened, and I tell you what, there are some people with some imagination working on here. Wow, is all I can say. I've been walking around, and I mean, just wow. Look at some of these. It's just incredible the imagination that some people have. Outstanding, outstandingly. I think these are mangroves actually. Very, very cool. I am liking this. Very nice, beautiful, beautiful work. That is, I don't even know what that is. That is just gorgeous. Oh wow, look at this. And I think the city is on like a big floating watery island or something. That is so gorgeous. Wow. So pretty. And I've been on here quite a while and I don't think it gets daylight. I think it's like perpetually night. Just incredible imagination went into this. Beautiful, beautiful work. Hats off to everybody at Vox Populi. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. And if you haven't guessed, that is, I'm hoping I can get a picture of the angel over here. She is, look at that. She is beautiful. Wow. You can see her there at the left corner. Such imagination. Gorgeous. So, if you haven't guessed already, the topic of our rant today is I is for imagination. And I think I'm right in the middle of someone's because this is just outstandingly beautiful. Um, and I think that's one of the reasons that I love Minecraft so much. Hey, there's my lighthouse. All right, we'll have to find us a fishing spot. Um, One of the reasons I love Minecraft so much is because of the imagination you have to use in order to create your own world. And I think that is something that we don't use quite as much as we used to, unfortunately. It's it's a shame too because I can remember being a kid. Well, first let's get to the definition of imagination. It's the faculty or imagining of of forming mental images or concepts of what is not actually present to the senses. Basically, thinking up something that isn't there and making it there. Um, and I don't think that some of the generations now have to. I mean, they probably do, and I'm not saying they don't. I'm just they don't have to use their imagination as much. I can remember as a kid. I mean, we were dirt poor, and I lived on a farm in one of the poorest counties in my state back in the back in the hills, and we had nothing growing up. I mean, everything you got, you worked from dusk till dawn, and or from dawn till dusk, and there was, I mean, there was no toys. It wasn't time to play. Anytime you did get to play, you didn't have anything to play with, so you had to use your imagination. I mean, I can remember making playhouses out in the woods, and because we didn't have anything um, we didn't have games, and I don't think my son would know what to do out in the woods. He'd probably sit there, you know, just because there's no. I mean, there's just game. Like I said, there's computers and consoles, and there's no need for him to imagine anything to play with. He's got it. So it's funny how I mean it's funny how we tend to lose, and I don't think I don't maybe lost isn't the right word. We just it's kind of pushed to the side. Why do you have to imagine anything when somebody else has already done it? I mean, why do you have to imagine building this cool building when somebody else has built it? I mean, why do you have to use your imagination to come up with this cool game when somebody else has already done it? I mean, you just enjoy what somebody else has already done. So I think in that respect, uh, it's kind of sad actually that we don't have to use our imaginations as much as we used to. George Lucas said, "You can't do it unless you imagine it," and that's true. Um, and most of the quotes that I found were by like just imaginative people. Even Albert Einstein, who we think is logical. He said logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. That is so true. And it's good to be logical. I'm not saying it's not. It's a good thing to be a logical thinker. I think we all need to be logical thinkers, but you can't dismiss. I mean, I have friends that they're only concerned with their children. You have to. You don't have time to do that. You don't have. You have to make straight A's, and you have to buckle down. And there's no time for games and playing, and you know. And I feel so sorry for the kids because they're just getting shoved into this hole. You always hear that saying about shoving a circle into a square. It's just it's. I'm sorry. To me, it's wrong to stifle somebody's imagination. I mean, most of our great thinkers, they had to just be wildly imaginative to come up with some of the concepts that they had. It's just even Thomas Edison said to invent you need a good idea or a good imagination and a pile of junk. And that's basically all imagination is. Whether you're writing or drawing or, making a machine, whatever you're trying to imagine, I mean, whatever you're trying to make, it's going to start in your imagination. That's where you're going to see it. That's where you're going to paint the picture. Um, it's just, you have to have, even if you're into science or I mean whatever aspect that you're trying to get into, it's going to start in your imagination. Whatever you're trying to dream up, that's where it's going to start. And yeah, some things are going to be goofy and they're not going to work, but that's what makes you helps make you a critical thinker. You can be both. You can have both. You can do both. But don't stifle your imagination because, or don't quit dreaming because you think somebody else has done it. There are other ways to do things. There are better ways to do things. There are more creative ways to do things. And just because, okay, well, somebody already built this sand, why should I imagine about it? Well, there's another level of sand to be built somewhere. Another way to utilize it. Another way to make it more creative. So don't stop imagining. Don't stop using your imagination just because you think somebody else has already done it. You can stand on that and create a whole other universe. You know. Um, Mark Twain said, "You can't depend on your eyes when your imagination is out of focus. You need your imagination. I mean, it should be as alive in you as your heart, your soul, anything. It should be one of your biggest assets. And unfortunately, I mean, like I have friends that, I mean, all they do is push their kids to be, you no, you don't have time to play games. No, you don't have time to dwiddle and draw and make little cartoons on that paper. That's a waste. That's such a waste of time. And they get stifled and they get frustrated and they give up. They quit dreaming because somebody told them that it was a waste of time. You know, it's sad that I mean, in order to make the almighty dollar, imagination has to suffer. And we've talked before about, being happy, doing what you love to do. And yeah, money's great. It's wonderful. It's nice to not have to worry about where the next meal's coming from. It's nice to, well, I'm going to have to let the light bill go so we can have some food this week. It's very nice to know that your job provides, you know, money to do that. But seriously, that needs to be that doesn't need to be the end product. If you want to, I've got a friend. She writes the most beautiful poetry, but I mean, all she ever did growing up was, trained to be a nurse. Because, I mean, of course, because her mother was a nurse, and that's a wonderful. I'm not saying I was a medic in the army. I'm not saying anything. But she gave up writing her poetry. I mean, some of the most imaginative and stories. Oh my God, some of the most fantastic stories that you've ever seen in your life. They were just, oh my God, they were wonderful. But she shoved them away because people told her it would never amount to anything. Using your even I mean her father, one of his things to say was, using your imagination is a waste of time and it won't put food on the table. So she gave up her dream of being a writer, and she is a nurse. And as far as I know, she doesn't even bother anymore, you know, because somebody told her it was a waste of her time. And my heart breaks every time I think about it. If there was anybody that ever deserved to be a writer who had the imagination to bring a story to life or sweep you away in a poem, it was her. Her work was beautiful, and she gave it up because somebody told her that it was a waste of time for her to imagine such silly stories. And it absolutely breaks my heart every time I think about it. Um, William Blake said, "What is now proved was once only imagined." If you stop and think about it, from the first time that a caveman back tens and tens and tens of thousands of years ago banged two rocks together and got a sharp piece of flint, imagination has built this entire planet, society, everything you see, touch, smell, hear, wear, eat, came from somebody's imagination. Somebody's sitting down and looking at a blank something and going, I bet there's something really cool that I can make with this. A lot of it was out of necessity. A lot of it was dreams. Crazy, insane dreams of people who were meant to dream. It is my absolute belief that there are people put on this planet that are meant just to dream. Um, it's it just astounds me that that people would want to smother that, especially in their children. Why would you want to turn off your child's imagination? I mean, why would you want to smother that and kill it? I mean, yeah, it's wonderful if your kids make straight A's. That's a really cool thing. But you're wanting that so you look good. So you can brag about your child. Let If we do not continue or start up again letting our children dream and imagine, we are killing our whole world. We have got to let the dreamers dream. You have to. I mean, we are coming to a point on this planet. If we do not get out from the constraints that we have put on ourselves, we are killing ourselves. With we are with technology, with facts and figures, and dreamers need to dream. They have got to. Me and my daughter and husband and son have always been big movie buffs. I adore movies. I have literally thousands. If you heard my husband gripe about them stacked up, where you would believe me. But I always love the imagination behind movies. That's why I think I love to write so much. That's why I love to build in Minecraft. I love picturing something in my head and then writing a story about it or making it or something like that. It's just, but now notice even my son's a big gamer. We've talked about him before. He's autistic. So, but even he is noticing the games they're cut from the same, it's like just these blocks of wood. It's this one, and that one looks like that one, and that one. There might be a little deviation from that one, not much. The movies are the same. They're redoing movies. Every movie is probably, nobody has any imagination. I don't know if we're too lazy or nobody can just think of anything anymore. And I sit there and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Oh my God, I can imagine 100 different stories from the same boring thing that you just did, and you copied 4 other people and slapped it together, and you're going to make tens of millions of dollars, and it's not even good. And it's the same way with games. I tell you what, I would rather go on to a place like Newgrounds or Game Jolt or Steam and buy 5 games that some 16-year-old kid has made and has used more imagination than some of these big name games of these big gaming companies, and it's the same thing, and all they did was put on some different clothes, a different pair of sunglasses, and holding a different gun, and they're still shooting the same people. And I'm thinking, and this game is going to make millions and millions of dollars, and they're going on the name alone. And nobody has any kind of imagination. I have played some of the coolest games on some of these independent game makers that nobody will ever hear of, that can put some of these big places to shame. And I think to myself, oh my God, especially when I find out it's like a kid, like a 15, 16-year-old kid. And you know it came straight from their imagination. And it is brilliant. And yeah, they had to be smart enough to write code and know how to make the game, but it came from the deepest part of their soul, their imagination. And it is brilliant. Watch some of these people that play some of these off the wall games, and you would just sit there and go, "Oh my God, how did somebody think of that?" It's brilliant. So yeah, when your kid says that they want to be a game maker, or they want to be some off the wall thing, and you think, "Oh no, you need to be a doctor, lawyer, you need to make money." Let your kids dream. And for that matter, why did you quit dreaming? Come to think of it, You know, you're never too old to dream. Never too old to dream. And I say that being a 49-year-old mom playing Minecraft. I will never, ever stop dreaming. Now, I might not be brave enough to take my books to a publisher or anything like that, but I can dream. And I will probably never be anywhere close enough, good enough to build something like this, but I can dream and use my imagination and go on great adventures with you, I hope. So there you go, guys. I is for imagination. And I am so happy to be part of this. This is Vox Populi Gold. I will make sure that their website is in the description, and they have 3 servers: Gold, Emerald, and Diamond. Diamond and Emerald will be getting map updates here soon. Um, this is absolutely gorgeous. My hat's off to Latin Goddess and Zombie Mold and everybody here at Vox that helped build this. This is absolutely magnificent. It is beautiful. I will be playing on Gold for a while just to try it out. Yeah, we got to find us a fishing spot somewhere, guys. Um, got to get into fishing. But I hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope you enjoyed the rant. And tell me down in the comments below, what do you think, what is something you've always imagined? Um, I've always been about stories. That's where my imagination always takes me, is stories. One of the greatest writers of our time, Stephen King, said if you want to write a good story, ask yourself, what if? So ask yourself, guys, use your imagination and say, what if? And let me know in the comments what you dream of. So till next time, guys, this is Mntdewmania. I am alive and doing fine in this beautiful Vox Populi Gold. I'm so out of here. Later, guys.